Shrinking the house, guys. Thanks for coming back. You know, just when you think you're going to do a video that might bring some interest, especially for a new product to market like the Laval, I mean, you don't get anyone wanting to watch it. And it's disheartening a little bit, but you know, that's what YouTube is. It's a hit and miss thing. You know, especially when you're a new guy like myself. I mean, I get more views on just the topics that I come up with myself. So sometimes when you carve out a niche, it's very difficult to change. So I don't want to change, so I'm just going to do, like my friend says, Dragnet there. Love you, man. Just have fun with it. And that's what I'll do, right? So as the header says, the big old Roon. Roon. Okay, well, this is my opinion from the research that I've done in my own room with high-end components, okay, guys? Now, being a guy that's had high-end streamers for on and off for at least 15 years, right? Going all the way back to Cambridge with their first models, and then the first, what I considered a high-end killer streamer with its own software, with its own app, a render. It's all started with that opened my eyes to the capability of what's possible in the digital, because everything's got to go smoothly in the digital domain, and it's much more complex than people seem to think, right? So when they were giving away the Roon trials and things like that, I had to try it thinking, oh my God, this is just going to be the ultimate digital experience of all time. But one thing that I already kind of knew was softwares have a sound. Believe it or not, they have a sound, okay? So I think when I had it at the time, I had the Inuus. That's when I owned the Inuus. And I tried the free trial with the render as well, guys. So what I did is I did a shootout, okay, between having Roon implemented into the system, and then I streamed directly from the software of the unit itself, of the N100H, and then I did it again with the Inuus, thinking maybe I should give this another shot. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that the sound is not as good with Roon implemented, okay? It brought a little bit of glare and unwanted, I call it digititis, to the presentation that I could clearly tell. Like, it was so obvious that it had changed the sound for the worse for me. Okay, now, any one of you people out there, like what I'm going to say about it after experimenting and stuff like that, it's a heck of an organizational software, okay? But the problem is, that's what it is first and foremost. Second is sound quality. Because you're going to go up against these companies that have had software companies developing and designing a software that they want to sound the best they possibly can. And that means even when Tidal is implemented into their own app, like Conductor app, the Lumen, the Orlick Lightning app, the Sense app, that, you know, the Inuus, they all have their own, and they have it implemented right into it sounds amazing. I'm sorry, guys. And it simplifies everything. I'm sorry, the Roon, and I'm not talking to all these people that have got multiple gadgets hooked up to their digital. I'm talking streamer on its own with the software, right? So when I did those experiments, it brought unwanted glare to my system, and it was very, very easy to tell. And I just tell any of you there, and I'm sorry to break it to you, because the ones that have came back to admit that I was right. And I hate it for the people that paid for these lifelong subscriptions of the, thank God I didn't, and I did the test, because it's not as good, man. It brings something to the table that's not needed in the presentation, and it's just, it brings some stuff that's not realistic sounding, a little bit tipped up in the top end, and a little bit of unneeded glare and jagged edges to the presentation. And I just really want you to do the test for yourself. It's very, very easy. If you have one of these higher end streamers that has its own software and own app, whatever it may be, and you have Roon, just take Roon out of the equation and do the test between the two and come back and report. I'm at least the 5 people that have done it over the time, because this is something that I'm revisiting, have all come back and noticed the truth. And some already know this and they have commented on that. So it just goes to show when a proper software is implemented into a product, that's what you should go with, man. I mean, they have an entire team working on that, and they want their product to sound the best they possibly can. So like I say, Roon to me is just an organizational software, and it is the best at what it does. But when it comes to sound, no way. So again, guys, I know there's thousands of people out there using Roon, and you may have a really nice streamer that has its own. So I really stress you to do this test, because it might save you a few $100s when you go to renew. You might realize, you know what? Shrink was right. Anyway, these are my findings, and it's important. It really is important, because digital to me it's more of just a handy way of listening to music in my room. When I want to really, really engage with the music, not that it's better, I play records just because I'm not getting up and my brain is clear of what I want to listen to within 30 seconds. That's what happens with the digital. Having the world at your fingertips, it's too easy, it's too convenient, which affects the connection that I have when I'm listening to music. And I know a lot of you feel the same way that way. It sounds great, but it's too easy to just be looking at the phone for the next album or next track. Because when we're listening to music, it triggers like this phenomenon of, oh, I want to hear that song. It's amazing how that happens. Triggers an emotion for a song that you want to hear next, right? So anyways, guys, for all of you that support my channel, I love you. It keeps me motivated to keep coming back. I consider this a job. When someone suggests something, I do my best to do it. I feel like I'm being employed by people, right? And so it should feel that way. I have a responsibility to you all to do the best I can in that area. Like the Laval review, that was a request, but the thing is, they were already on their way. So that was for everyone, and mainly for Dragnet, just to show the love, man. So anyway, like and subscribe, guys. Shrink's always going to be here for you. Take care. Cheers.